Hello all, we're going to do the vertex form of a quadratic equation. Make sure you take notes of all the examples and take the survey that follows the video. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Just recall that way back when we did the standard form, we've been working with that for a while. That's the ax squared plus bx plus c. We also have the vertex formula that we use to find the vertex of a quadratic equation. Just find the x value, which is the negative b over 2a. Or opposite b over 2a. We're going to bring all that back now. So the very first thing that is super important, you make sure you write this down, is the vertex form of a quadratic equation. It's going to look like this. Y equals a quantity x minus h squared plus k. Now there's some very important pieces of this vertex form. The first thing that you notice that's different is h and k. The h and k represent the values of the actual vertex. So if you have a standard form, you can find the vertex, and those are the numbers that we're putting into h and k. For h, this is important for you to write down, h is a liar because the sign is always the opposite. So we refer to it as h being a liar. K tells the truth because the sign is always the same. If it's positive, it stays positive. If it's negative, it stays negative. So h is a liar and k tells the truth. So our first example here is going to be converting from standard to vertex form. The first thing we need to do is find the vertex from standard form, doing the opposite b over 2a, and substitute it back in. The second thing would be to take that value we found and put it into the equation and solve for k. And we're going to put the h into the h spot, and the y value is going to go into the k spot. Again, it's very important to remember h is a liar and k tells the truth. So here's our first example. Our very first step is to find the vertex. So we're going to start by doing the x equals opposite b, which means we're going to do a positive 8 over 2 times a, and a in this problem is 1. So when I simplify that, I get 8 over 2, or 4. So this is the x value of the vertex. I'm going to substitute that back into the original equation, and I get 4 squared minus 8 times 4 plus 14. Now use your calculator and go through and find that number. What you should end up with is a value of negative 2. So what that means is our vertex is 4, negative 2. Well, now we're ready to substitute into the vertex form. And the vertex form has h being a liar, so the x value is 4, so now it's going to become a negative 4. K tells the truth, since it's a negative 2, it's going to be written as a minus 2. Now let's further take a look at the graph of this equation. Here are some things to look at when you're doing a graph. The first thing is remembering that 4, negative 2 represents the vertex. So if I were to plot that, I would be going over 4 and down 2. So the shift, h is a liar, instead of going to the left like you might think, since it's a liar, we're going to go to the right 4, and then we're going to go down 2. And so that's the first point that I'm going to plot. I'm going to go to the right 4 and down 2. It's the opposite of what you expect for your x values. And then I'm going to draw in my parabola. That's all that we need to know for that. Second example here now. So now that I'm taking a look, that I know that h is a liar, k tells the truth, what we're going to do is graph this function using that information about h being a liar, k tells the truth. So once again, the vertex in this equation you should be able to identify as negative 3, positive 1. And so I can graph the negative 3, positive 1, knowing that the negative 3 is going to tell us to shift to the left, and the positive 1, k telling the truth, is telling us we're going to go up 1. So that tells us to go left 3, and the plus 1 tells us to go up 1. And so when I graph it, it's going to be over 3, up 1, and here's my parabola. So to kind of just put that together, we want to do a rough sketch. This is something that we would expect you to be able to do. A couple things to go over with this. First, h is a liar. So what I'm going to do is take a parabola, and I'm going to move it to the right 6 units. Now I'm just going to kind of estimate where that is. So it's going to go over to the right about 6 units. Now I'm going to utilize my k. K tells the truth, so it's going to go down 3 units. So I'm going to count down about 3 units. And then the key thing here is the guy in the front. We saw in the past when there's a negative a, that means it's upside down. So a is giving us direction, that means it's a negative. So instead of being facing up, it's going to be facing down. That's all for this. We'll do more in class. Make sure you answer these 3 questions. See you tomorrow.